YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, back on Total War Rome 2. And I am going to give you another replay. So the player that I played last time was able to overcome the Suebi swarm. So I got curious here, like he did such a good job countering that I wanted to bring my other scare army against him, which is my Egypt scare army. And he picked Carthage to play as this time. And you can see that he actually has a full stack of men, as opposed to my only 15 units. So the Egypt scare army is usually fairly small, and this variant of it is just slightly different than what I normally run into. I came expecting to have to fight against a lot of Campani Cav, and so I brought a couple of spearmen to help assist, and perhaps screen for my my other cavalry. So what I do this time is I keep my Ptolemaic Cav wide on the flanks to hopefully lure out any Campanian Cav, and then I keep a Citizen Cav close to some Nubian Spearmen for support. Nubian Spearmen are kind of a cool looking unit. My main line is Thorax Swords with one Galatian Royal Guard, and that's just for extra support. I wanted one very strong unit that could potentially punch through Libyan Infantry, because Libyan Infantry is what I expect. And then I just have two Egyptian archers. No Sobek cultists this time because I have an elephant, and I think it's the same scare effect from the elephant in the Sobek. My opponent has two Scutari Cav, two Carthaginian Cav, I want to say 7 Libyan infantry, so he outmatches me in the infantry department, and he's even got a mercenary Iberian sword in the back, 3 Cretan archers, 2 Libyan hoplites, late Libyans, yeah, and then I got his Cav. He's got a Carthaginian Cav and a Scutari Cav. So Scutari Cav is actually pretty bad. I haven't looked into their stats. I'm not sure why they're so bad. From an initial glance, they look pretty decent, but they're just pretty bad every time that I've used them. So let's see. Up the front here, I've only got 6 sword infantry again to his 7. So I'm definitely going to have to rely on the scare effect, and I do not want to end up in a skirmishing fight with these Cretans. So what I do here is I'm going to act pretty quick. You can see that I have attack orders on all of my units. In fact, I use the AI group attack. That's why they have these weird looking movement lines, but they'll issue charge orders here in a moment. And then I bring up my Egyptian archers to immediately loose flaming volleys on his men. He, however, takes his Cretan archers and starts targeting my Galatian Royal Guard, wanting to do some damage to him. So there comes the flaming shot. You can see the effect that it has on several units here, and the flaming shots will continue to come in and affect his units. On the flank, I'm going to use my Ptolemaic Cav to just try and pin down all 3 of these units, and then here's my screening maneuver, and then behind that screening maneuver, I'm going to immediately move this unit in to take out archers to make room for my elephants. So over here, slightly different. My opponent wasn't paying attention, so I didn't have to screen. I'm now behind his lines, and I can now just use my Ptolemaic Cav and these other units to pin down his. So I let the infantry charge go. My opponent goes into a shield wall, maybe hoping to absorb my charge, which probably wasn't the best plan here. The shield wall will help his guys last longer. The problem is they'll get almost no kills. And his units don't have expert charge defense either. If they had expert charge defense, I would think that would have been smart. Right here, he should have moved to outflank me immediately, but did not, because he's reacting to other scenarios. So again, look, his archers get tied down, and the flaming volleys that are coming through have actually, and see how he had attack orders on his archers on my elephants, but they got caught up in the infantry fight while trying to reposition. Then the flaming missiles was enough to just break their morale. So I get a very quick break on the flank with my elephants, and now all the rest of his units just start to route straight down the line. Again, the infantry fight, or the cavalry fight on the flanks was just more of a diversion. All my Ptolemaic Cav had to do was just pin his guys down, and it was successful. So you can see how quickly I was able to rout his army here. So my opponent did a great job at fending off the Suebi scare army. The Egyptian scare army, in my opinion, is more powerful anyway, and it worked like a charm right here. My opponent had me outmatched in infantry, but his infantry just got hammered in seconds. And that's the idea behind the scare army. It's got to be quick and decisive. So I think what went well there, and I'm going to pause it real quick while we still can kind of see the bodies on the battlefield and get some orientation. So main line was here. I think the thing that was important is I used my spearmen right here as a screening maneuver, so enemy Cav can't come from this direction, and then my Cav moves straight through that screen and into the archers, and then on the other flank again immediately into his archers so that he can't kill my elephants. The elephants are the key in the Egyptian scare army. And then my flaming arrows came in on time this time, as opposed with my longbow hunters, they were late. And you can see out here that his Scutari Cav got worked on pretty hard by my Nubian spearmen, 76 kills for them. and my Ptolemaic Cav was able to get out and come perform a rear charge as well. Scutari Cav and Carthaginian Cav are going to die hardcore to Ptolemaic Cav. Had my opponent brought the Mercenary Campanians, this would have been a slightly different story, but again, the idea would have been to wrap up his infantry quickly so that then I don't have to worry about any cavalry he has. I just want to keep his cavalry busy, and then hopefully by the time that he realizes what's happening, all of his infantry's dead, and it won't matter how good his cavalry is, they'll be gone. What if he had elephants? If he had elephants, this becomes a battle of timing. Had he brought a similar army, because Carthage can do a scare army too. They have archers, they have elephants, they have all the means to run a scare army, and some pretty effective ones. If he had brought the same thing, then it really just becomes a matter of timing. Who gets the scare in first and who does it better? Because once a chain route gets started with your infantry, it happens fast, and you're not going to have a whole lot of time to stop it. So really, the key when you're trying to stop a scare army is don't give them that timing. Don't allow them to get it. Because if you do, it's not going to take but more than a couple of seconds, and your whole army will be gone. Look at that, Scutari Cav just getting absolutely romped. Now, I don't think he got a charge with either one of them. And his Carthaginian Cav got wailed on pretty bad too. Carthaginian Cav's a decent unit. It's similar to Citizen Cav. It's a capable unit. It's decent for the price. It's just that it can't do a whole lot head-to-head with other Cav units. And Scutari Cav is much the same. It's not really that decent for the price either. I just, again, haven't found a huge use for it. I think they need to mess around with either the cost of it or the stats, one of the two, because something just kind of seems to be out of whack with them. Anyway, great game to my opponent. I hope you enjoyed the last one where he pulled off that great maneuver against the Swarm. The Egyptian Scare Army is still very much intact here with a big victory. But again, it's fun playing against this opponent. I had a fun time playing the battles with him. It was enjoyable, and I hope you all enjoyed it as well. HeirofCarthage, signing off for now.